All right, Shalom. First off, I'm going to start up by saying all praises, honor, and glory is due unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakadash. That's all praises to the world calls God, whose true name in Hebrew is Yahweh, by Hashem meaning in the name, and Yahushai being the name of the only begotten Son. Also, I want to say double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and mercy to a hopeful elect, preaching word in truth and sincerity. I'm the brother Tazabah, the Great Millstone, Arizona camp. Lord will with another video to edify. And I got to start off with the scripture. You saw the title on the screen. This is Revelation 19:10. It says, "And I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, See thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushai. Worship the Most High, for the testimony of Yahushai is the spirit of prophecy." And prophecy simply means to say before. So to go into the scriptures and look into those things and know and understand the dark sayings and understand the future events through the scriptures. That is the spirit of Yahushai. Now this stuff was prophesied in the scriptures. It says 500,000 small businesses in Britain could go bust if a new wave of government assistance is not released immediately. Right? The scriptures talk about take balm. Let me get this one. This is Jeremiah 51. I started 7. It says, "Babylon had been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand. He made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of the wine of her wine. Therefore the nations are mad." So the philosophy, the business practice, the monetary system, all these nations have taken on to themselves that American way. And now all throughout the world there's collapse. All throughout the world there's problems and uproars. Right? It says Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain. And the mother of Babylon, which is what? Great Britain, right? That place is having its own downturn, and it's gonna, hasten. Right? Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. It says, "We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed." And they took steps, that whole monetary easing. Right? That's why they're sitting there talking about if the government doesn't bring in that assistance, there's going to be all these businesses collapsing. It says back in verse 9, "We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her. Let us go every one into his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven and is lifted up into the skies." Right? So back in the article, right? It says if a new wave of government assistance is not released immediately, some 500,000 small businesses in the UK will go bankrupt within weeks. The chairman of the Federation of Small Business, FSB, Martin McTagg, has warned. It says, "We don't have any problem with the way the Chancellor dealt with commerce needs." McTagg told BBC Radio 4's Today program earlier this week. It says, commenting on the last 15 billion euro or 15 billion pound, $19 billion cost of living package released by the UK government. But there is still a massive problem with small businesses, he said. They are facing something like twice the rate of inflation for their production prices, and it is a ticking time bomb. Right? Let's get this one. Second Ezra 16. Right? He said because the inflation is rising. Right? So when the prices were good, they didn't have these woes and worries. It says, Revelation 16:21, "Behold, victuals shall be sold good cheap upon the earth." Right? Victuals meaning the goods, the raw materials. Right? It says that they shall think themselves to be in good case. Right? So for a long time, because the dollar was so strong, right? The European Union's money was so strong that they didn't have to worry about stuff that Venezuelans had to worry about. They didn't have to worry about stuff that people in South America or Northern Africa had to worry about. right? They were able to just ball out of control, right? It says, and even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion, right? So these evils are growing. The sword, more and more people are killing each other. Gun, violence in America, man, is shooting up, and that's only through the spirit of the Heavenly Father that's happening. It says famine, right? Famine is boosting up because what the production, the cost of the raw materials to make these things are shooting up, and that's what they're getting into this article. Those small businesses can't really do anything at those prices, and that's the plan. The only people that will survive this whole economic downturn are going to be the big banks, because they're the ones that can afford the price of the goods at the prices that they're going to be at to produce. It says in great confusion, man. Nobody knows what's going on. There's always a new disease, always a new economic woe, right? Always more problems coming out, and now they have no surety of livelihood. So that great confusion is boosted up. It says, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape hunger shall the sword destroy, and the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them. For the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down. And when all this stuff gets even worse, and these storefronts start closing, which we'll get that precept, you're gonna see people rioting the streets, right? The scriptures talk about there's gonna be few men left in the city, right? But going back to the article, it says they are facing something like twice the rate of inflation for their production prices. And it says it's a ticking time bomb. They have got literally weeks left before they run out of cash, and that will mean hundreds of thousands of businesses and lots of people losing their jobs. Right now, let's get the precept. This is Ecclesiastes. But you know what? I'm gonna start at Second Ezra 9, Second Ezra 15 and 1. It says, "Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, say Yahweh, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true." Right? So this is what we're speaking. We're not going to speak out our own mouths. We're going to bring out the prophecies. We're going to look at the news. We're going to show you the time we're in, and it's up to you whether or not you take it serious. Ecclesiastes 12 and 1 says, "Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them." So the evil days are here. So you're supposed to remember the Lord before they get really exacerbated, before it gets real hectic. And you got a lot of people that don't sit there and have a mindset to actually submit themselves to what the Lord said before these things start popping off. It's going to get worse, man. It's going to get worse. It's going to get a hell of a lot worse. It says, and you just said you're going to have no pleasure in these days. It says, whether the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain, and the day when the keepers of the house, when you go to the keepers of the house, it means your governments, your economists, your money makers, right? It says the keeper of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, right? And who is strong, right? It says money is defense, right? So those that have economic status in this world will have ability to throw their weight around a little bit, right? The strong men are going to start bowing themselves because what? They're going to fold under these economic pressures. It says, then the grinding cease because they are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened. So the grinding is ceasing. It's no longer going to be business as usual, right? It says, and the door shall be shut in the street. Well, that storefronts of 500,000 businesses that will go bust. When the sound of the grinding is low, he will rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. You see? People are going to sit here and look, scourge, right? Just like you see Issachar, like on the West Coast, right? Issachar will wake up before the sun, go sit at a Home Depot or Lowe's, and wait for work to come, right? And people look at them like they're the dregs of society. Man, Issachar is working their ass off, right? But pretty soon, the average everyday American is going to be out there doing the same thing. There's a movie. Give me a second. Here it is. It's called Fun with Dick and Jane, right? With Jim Carrey. And this dude lost his job, lost his driver's license, his birth certificate, I think, too, in his movie. And he was out there, right? And he basically, even though this dude was probably a Jake, right? He lost his job in his movie. And what Esau was right out there with Issachar trying to get jobs and being picked up in trucks to do day labor. And this is going to be the average everyday thing, right? It says, also when they shall be afraid of that which is high, and fear shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden, and it says, and desire shall fail, because man go to his long home, and mourners go about the streets. So it's just going to be all out low status that the people are going to be in out here, right? It's another precept. Get this one. I think it's Isaiah 19 and 15. It says, neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which head or tail, branch or rush may do. So the head is talking about the rich, the tail is talking about the poor, right? Branch or rush may do. It says, and in that day shall Egypt be like unto women, and it shall be afraid and feared because of the shaking of the hand of Yahweh of hosts, which he shall shake over it. And when there's mass joblessness and mass poverty, crime shoots up. So this is the days we're in, man. And you can see if it's happening over there in the UK, right? It's going to happen here in America shortly after. So, Lord willing, this is edifying. I'm going to say, call law, Yahweh, Shemir, Shai, Shemir, Kakara, Shalom.